Virtual learning environments have grown in popularity and application in educational settings as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. While diversity and inclusion are prioritized across educational etiquettes, its significance and influence in online courses is unreliable. Culture may influence the design and use of online learning environments. Therefore, an approach that supposes virtual learning environments is culturally neutral may not serve the needs of all learners. To start, let's define what a design landscape of a virtual learning environment is. In this environment, we have the instructor, the students, and the device. The instructor brings knowledge, training, and sets the attitude of the classroom. The students, who are the learners, have learning gains and losses and are assessed with respect to the retention of the course material. We also have that content, which is all the material and the lesson info that is developed by the instructor, as well as the approach, which is the method to teaching all the students in e-learning environment. Where are those layers, those dimensions? Is culture taken into consideration? Hofstede's Individualism versus Collectivism and Power Distance cultural dimension model concepts aid in assessing the likelihood of human behaviors on the societal values under the COVID-19 pandemic in a virtual learning environment. With Hofstede's model, research has shown that the Western culture is more individualistic, and people are characterized as having more of an independent view of themselves. In the context of e-learning, this means that individualistic cultures, the student is held responsible for his or her schoolwork, while in a collectivistic culture, larger group work is largely applied with complementary responsibilities. As for Hofstede's Power Distance Index, PDI, this seems particularly salient to education. Eastern countries have a small PDI culture, while Western countries have a larger PDI culture. Hofstede argues that schools in a higher power distance culture were teacher-centered and strictly disciplined. The instructors in these cultures are seen as the keeper of all knowledge, and students are largely attributed to the merit of the teacher. In the low PDI learner-centered cultures, teachers are expected to treat students as more equals. Therefore, learning gains are attributed to the effective interaction between the student and the teacher, with both sides sharing responsibility for successful learning. This hypothesized learning loss effect calculates the difference between the typical learning progression over time with the learning progression during the COVID-19 pandemic. This makes it difficult for educational systems to design effective learning strategies and for researchers to assess the learning loss of students. What does that mean for designing a landscape for a virtual learning environment? Developers of a software for online learning environments could use the cultural dimension findings to explore aspects of environments that require particular attention. Software developers might also be better able to compensate for their own cultural influences. Instructional professionals could use these findings to identify the aspects of online learning environments that require proactive actions, adjustments, or treatment to address the learning loss and understand cultural expectations and needs to most benefit their learners. Clearly, there is a direct correlation between the cultural influences and effectiveness of online learning environments. Virtual learning environments are seldom designed to accommodate cultural diversity in the design landscape of the course. There is often no understanding, and there's more of a disconnection between the intended and actual experiences of the participants. What can we do to support culture and e-learning environments moving forward? Design with culture in mind. Designing the landscape of a virtual environment to respect cultural competencies can improve the online learning experience for culturally diverse student groups and even prepare the instructional professionals to ethically execute and track learning gains and losses of their students. Where do we start? How do we design this type of landscape? Start with the instructional professional. Check out my paper to see the proposed structure guideline of designing a landscape for a virtual learning environment. Thank you.